Oh my god, the host just triple sapped me.
Do you see whose food running?
56 was just sitting there making out the entire time I was trying to take
Why do we have
orders.
so many servers on the floor? Did you hear about 73?
This is a work of fiction. Any similarity to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental.
Sometimes I catch myself at a terminal and I'm like full just like over the terminal, you know, like how you're just like I'm just like leaning a little too much, or like I go to the bread station and I walk away and there's breadcrumbs all right here and I'm like, no, why are these? I look like I just ate bread. Not that I just cut you bread.
100%.
It hangs right there, right at the bread station.
When I get drinks from the bev station and then I have a line of water.
Things I never considered before, like ever. These were never a fact of my life.
Yeah, being 110 pounds 10 years ago, I never would have thought about this. Yeah, nowadays I'm like, and then I walk away and I'm like, oh, I should not do that. And
I leaned a little too comfortably.
And then I just lift my apron up a little bit more and just like, okay.
I'm tucking that shirt in a little deeper.
100%, yeah. So I've been thinking recently, like, I should get like one of those steppers or something just to like every day try and get a little bit more exercise.
Well, when you come over on Monday, take my stepper and I'll make sure that I have opened my walking pad. So that way.
Oh, no, we could do it together while we punch. Yeah. Fucking fantastic.
I should be able to run a little further.
Right?
If something were to happen, I can run, but
a very short distance.
Somebody better be there to save me. Yes. By that point. I was fooling around with my son and then because I don't know how much of this, like we could keep some of this, right? But fooling around and we're leaving open house. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, I can beat you here. I can beat you there. And so boyfriend and mom behind us, I was just like, yeah, maybe you can beat me to the car. And I just take off, right? And I'm like, fuck this kid. That kid comes up, he gets so close behind me, and I'm just like, I cannot stop now. Get to the car, right? I have beaten him. That's great. I'm glad that I can sit. I'm
and then you have
taller.
to spend 5-10 minutes outside the car, like.
No, the drive home was me going. Because I've got boyfriend next to me, mom in the back seat, son in the back seat.
You can't let him know your weakness.
And I'm all. I'm like turning the music up and the air conditioner. It's 7:00 at night and it's freezing in the car. And I'm just like, oh, I like it cold.
I just need the fresh of the air circulation, you know what I mean?
My son's like ready for bed after that jog and I'm like, I need so much time. We live very close, but it took most of the drive home to catch my breath.
I believe you, absolutely. Oh,
we did run like half a block. Like it's not like it was like just a very short. It's like I had to park so far away.
Yeah, but
so
still.
and I booked it. Like this was me. Like this, I'm running
You're
full
trying.
fucking speed. I don't want to know what it looked like to those houses I ran past. I don't want to know what they saw. All I need to know is that I beat that 7-year-old little fucker. Like I beat him.
Welcome
to the car by a bit, a little bit. But by a bit.
But you beat him. That's what's important. And then spend the rest of your time riding home fighting for your fucking life. I love that so much.
Oh my God.
Welcome back to Rolling Silverware. I'm Kat.
I'm Buddy.
This is our post-shift shit talk.
Oh my God. We are back from Easter.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
It really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be either. I think solely because the numbers weren't there. Like, we just didn't hit the numbers that we have in previous years.
Man, I felt like I was pretty busy, I'm going to be honest. Like, I was going for most of the shift. It was pretty steady, but I didn't feel like I had any real problems for any tables. Like, the kitchen ran smoothly. People got their food on time. It was hot. It was fine. Everything went, like, as smooth as I, as like a normal, like Sunday morning, right?
We were a little busy at night, but not more than any average, like one-off Sunday,
Yeah. Were you staffed, like well staffed though for Sunday night? Because I think that was a big thing. Because usually on Sundays we have 4 people, right?
Right. No,
Whereas,
and we had like 8.
yeah,
So we definitely
it
had
felt steady.
Yeah, we had
versus-
sections covered. Outside was covered. This and that. And it was a nice day. It was a very nice Easter day. People came in. People were very nice. I had lots of really nice tables. I did end up getting the last table of the night, even though I was in the bar, as happens to me and seemingly me alone.
Oh, bullshit! That's been happening to me lately. You passed your curse on to me.
Well, good.
You
I don't feel bad.
pass it on to another lead server. Why pass it on to
I
me?
would love to. I didn't mean to. I'm just around you all the time. So sorry. I'll go rub up on, everybody else.
You're not allowed to get close to anybody else in the restaurant.
If you hang out with Bambi one time.
As my best friend.
But I got the last table. It's this 2-top guy and girl. They've never heard of Easter. They don't know what Easter is. They're just having a date night. It's just Sunday date night for them. This guy is he looks like a bodybuilder. He's tatted from his chin all the way down, and he's got one tattoo on his face. And then she's this bubbly girl. And
Of course.
yeah, and they're having a good time. I'm having a good time. Hey, what do you want? They order a filet and a tail and this, and I'm like, cool, this is awesome. Points,
Yeah.
with our little game we have going on at work right now. So I'm like, great, that's awesome. And then we close at 9, and I have already dropped the check, and they're not paying, and they're not paying, and they're not paying. And so I go by, and I'm just like, hey guys, can I get some of those plates? Oh, let me get some of those plates. And so he throws his card down. Okay, fantastic. I close it out. I set it down. They make no motions to pick that up. It is 9:35 before they make a motion to pick it up. And this is what I see. I'm standing at the bar top, and I'm shooting the shit with the bartender. And so I'm standing right over there in the corner, and they're at 31. And nobody else is there. Lights are up. We have been closed. And also, it's a holiday. Let me go the fuck home. I see the girl is scribbling, aggressively on the check. With my pen, making huge loops all over the check. And so I'm like, okay,
That's weird.
is it nothing? If it's nothing, that's fine. Can I just take it? Can I just take it
Yeah,
and go?
please just let me go.
I think their bill was 140. So okay, if I get nothing on that, that kind of sucks to end the night, but I just want to go. All of my side work is done. The hammer has left. It's just me. I'm the only one here with the manager. That's it. The bussers are ready to leave, everybody else. Kitchen has left.
Yeah.
Everybody has left. It's just me and this fucking table. And so I go by, and finally I'm like, hey, do you mind if I take that? And the guy's like, oh yeah, we're getting out of here. And I was like, okay, whatever. And so I take it, and he had left me, I think, $15 or whatever. Okay, great. So I don't know what she scribbled all over, but I think it was the guest copy.
Yeah.
And she must have taken it, but she was over there scribbling and giggling and laughing, and I looked over, and she gave me a look, and she's like, ooh, and then kept scribbling or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care what you guys are doing. I don't care if you start having sex in the booth right now, as long as you hand me that fucking check and let me leave. That's all. That's what I need to leave, and you both fucking know it. You know it. You know that I cannot leave until I get my tip. You know that. Or until I get nothing, and I can prove to the managers that I got nothing.
Yeah.
I have to have that as a part of my checkout. Please,
sign it, please. Yeah.
Holy shit. And so finally they left, and whatever.
I did get a lot of low tips on Easter Sunday, and it wasn't just me. Everybody that was working Easter brunch was like, fucking hell, these people are tipping 10%, 10%, 10%. And I was like, baby, they give Jesus 10%. This is the religious people's holiday. You think they're gonna give us more than they give Jesus? Absolutely not.
Fuck no, they're not.
10% is tithings. That's what they give us.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But I did feel like I turned enough tables that I still walked with as much as I would on a normal Sunday.
Right.
But I did have more tables on Easter than I would on a normal Sunday.
Okay, yeah.
So it was
I don't think I
definitely one of
had
those
more
where,
tables, but I did have some very generous tables.
Good for
I had some
you,
really
yeah.
nice families that were out for that we spent all day,
we don't want to cook, yeah.
Right.
But,
So it wasn't a bad day. It was just a day.
yeah. I definitely, yesterday, Friday night, I had not the worst day, but it ended on such a sour note. I was running a daycare in my section for some reason. I had a bunch of families with kids, and it's that's fine. It happens. We are a family restaurant. It's fine. But 2 of my tables had children And I have children, so I understand children. I understand.
You have a child.
I have a child. It's fine. But I get children, right? And one of my tables, this little girl has never heard of the term inside voice in her fucking
Ever.
life. Never.
She's never been reprimanded for being loud.
Never once. And her grandparents are talking to each other, not at me in any way, shape, or form, but they're ordering their food. So they're talking to me, but not at me.
Right.
And they're, yeah, so where we're going to get the, if we could just, maybe the, and I'm
What?
so, and then at the same time, there's this little girl sitting in the middle. Excuse me, miss, excuse me, can I ask you a question, miss? Does this fish have teeth? Because I see teeth in this statue. Excuse me, excuse me, miss, I would like some chocolate milk. Screaming. Absolutely fucking screaming. I cannot hear her grandparents in any way, shape, or form. But I clock that she wants chocolate milk, so I write down like a kid's chocolate milk, right? Yeah. And then at the same time, you know, Grandpa, I finally figure out what he wants to order. Grandma starts ordering. Both of them have accents, so it's even hard. And they're mumbling, right? So I'm having a very hard time understanding them. But I figure out as I'm trying to figure out what Grandma wants to eat, she's screaming out her food order was like chicken nuggets or some shit. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like writing all of this down, trying to get it all at the same time. And then I get her dad's order. And he's not any better. He's asking a million questions. And when he talks, he's like, and so I was thinking, so I really like thinking that I want this, but then so I was thinking, and I'm just like, oh my God, just order your fucking food.
You can keep thinking and just tell me what you want.
As he's doing this, she's still yelling. And I'm just like, okay, trying to answer his questions. I get his order. And then he looks at me and goes, no, Grandma looks at me and goes, excuse me, did you get that she wants a chocolate milk? Bitch, everybody in this restaurant knows that she wants a chocolate milk.
5 tables over are aware that she wants chocolate milk.
Everybody knows that she wants chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk will happen from me or at least 7 other people. You're good.
I got it. Trust me, we're fine. And then I had another table at the exact same time with a little girl that had the exact same problem. But not only, so the entire time she's talking over everybody else, the second table, this little girl's talking over everybody else, and I'm figuring it out. It's fine. I'm just like, wow, this is great. I love this so much. But at the very end of their meal, they order desserts, right? They get the kids ice cream so the second table had a little boy and a little girl, but the little boy was very quiet. He did not want to talk to me at all. Little girl wouldn't shut the fuck up. And right. At one point I'm walking past and the little girl stops me and she goes, excuse me, are the ice creams coming or not?
What?
And instead of the parents being like, hey, excuse me, like we don't talk to people like that. They just, so are they? Like
we also want to know,
they
are
look
the
at
ice creams
me
coming?
like, are you going to answer the question? And I'm flabbergasted. My flabber's gasted. And I was
My
just like,
son would not be getting ice cream if that happened.
my son would be fucking beat in public if that happened. Are you joking?
There's no way.
You do not speak to people like that. It's so fucking rude to just be like, well, are you going to answer the question? Fuck. Who are any of you? I was so upset that I started going through the restaurant and I was like, yeah, I'm about to be a core memory for these children when I step up on top of the bar top and shoot myself in the fucking head in front of them. Like, I am so sick of these kids. And then at the exact same time, I have my son texting me from my house, asking me how to use the blender and asking
Oh,
me.
no.
And not only this, he's asking me, my husband's at home.
No.
Dad's there. Why aren't
Fuck
you
off.
asking Dad? But no, he's going out of his way to text me, Mom, what's the recipe for the smoothie that you've been making me in the morning? I really want to make one for myself right now. Okay, well then what button do I push on the blender? He's texting me over and over and over again. And
I'm sorry, but at 13, start pressing buttons, dog.
Figure it out.
Does it say blend? Because I know one of them does. And you want it blended, don't you? It says blend, puree, pulse. Like there's so many options.
Yeah,
Start
figure it
pressing
out.
buttons.
All of them. I don't care.
Please.
I don't remember who I looked at, but I looked at somebody and I was like, I'm about to tell my son to take his bike down here, to like bike himself down here and sit in a booth so that he can also be a part of this core memory. Because holy shit, I am so sick of children. Just all children. Fuck all of them. I'm so sick of them. I was getting so fucking heated. It's been a long time since kids are rambunctious and they're loud and they're this and they're that, but you kind of do rely on the parents a lot of the times. Just be like, hey, relax, or hey, inside voices, hey, you don't need to be that loud, hey, you know what I mean?
Oh my God, excuse them, I'm so sorry about that, or just anything at all. Speaking up over the child to be like, hey, relax, it'll come when it comes. Or
especially when you're in the middle of trying to order your food and your kid's screaming, don't you look at them and be like, shh,
cut it out,
stop it, like, please. I'm talking. None of that was happening for 2 tables at the exact same time. And I was just like, I'm going to kill myself in front of these kids. You've got to be fucking kidding me.
Today was kind of wild. Like, we were busy, which is one thing, but then, the kitchen was really... So I think we were down, 2 guys on the line or something.
Yeah, something was going on in the kitchen. Yeah, I could not figure it out, though.
Very stressed. But, so before you got there, because you were, the station next to me, and so they sat me one of your tables, but before you got there, by a long shot, it was 4:45 or something, so you're not on for 45 minutes, and they come to me, and they're like, hey, we sat you 31's for you, and I was like, yeah, I would have figured that out.
Lunch too isn't here yet.
I have 3 tables, and Kat's not here, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that that's for me, but thank you for letting me know, that's very nice.
You seat me outside of my section, tell me, of course,
Sure, so I have back up, half front of house, half back of house manager greet them.
Oh, daddy.
Yes. High water daddy, I think is what we should call him.
Yeah.
Because he wears these little high water pants that are cute as fuck on him.
I love them so much.
It's part of his whole personality.
Yeah.
I'm a part of it now. At first I was like, yo dog, you can get longer pants. And he's like, I don't know, I just buy pants that fit my waist. I was like, yeah, but men's sizes come down also.
Yeah, they're both. I don't know if you know this.
Men have the better option for pants. You could fit literally your perfect size. You could find that.
No.
But he doesn't. He just finds pants that fit his waist and he rolls with that. So it doesn't matter if they're 3 inches too short.
Nope.
Or whatever, but I love it for him. So anyways,
got him cute little socks for Christmas
we
that he wears.
So that he could show off. So high water daddy, I have him greet the table for me. And so they get a margarita, no salt, no ice. So
okay.
they want a chilled margarita. But
just up, all right.
Well, just in a just neat.
Yeah,
That's why I was like, oh, a margarita neat, as one does, And he asked me, he's like, is that something people do? I go, no, it's not. But
not
you can.
usually.
You can do whatever you want. I don't care. So I help him put the order in. And then when I go to drop the margarita sans ice and the glass of wine, so it's an older gentleman, I would put him probably around 75. Okay. And the woman is maybe in her late 50s. Okay. And so I set the margarita down because I know it's for her because he told me it's for her. So I was like, okay, she gets the margarita. So I set that down. She's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Just a straw at your earliest convenience. I was like, yeah, absolutely. And I set his wine glass down and I start to pour his wine out of the carafe. And this man looks at me and goes, no, let me pour it.
Ew, why?
I don't know. So I stop pouring. I have poured 90% of this glass of wine. And then he goes, ugh, never mind.
Okay.
So I set the remaining 10% of the glass of wine down.
Like the little carafe that we put him
down in the carafe. And he's like, I can just do it. Dog?
Nobody's infiltizing you.
Right, but also if that's what you want, you can just say that when I walked up with it. You very much saw your glass of wine,
in
the
your
wine
hand,
glass was on a tray. So you very much saw on that tray that I had your carafe and your empty glass of wine. Before I even set the wine glass down, you could have very calmly said, I can pour the wine, please just set it down.
I had somebody do that to me yesterday, yeah.
And I would have said, okay, that's weird, I guess, if you don't want it all poured out, or maybe you want to, spin it around and get the smells and everything else. I don't know what you want to do with it. But this man yelled at me.
Ew, I hate that.
And then aggressively sighed and rolled his eyes. Oh, never mind. All right, dog. Here's your 10% of wine. I just went, I'm so sorry. And I walked the fuck away. Now, keep in mind, I did not put the order in for this table. I only opened the table and helped, High Water Daddy figure it out.
With the process, yeah.
But I did not put in the food at all. So then I have 3 people from the kitchen coming to get me. And they're like, hey, this order for 31. And I was like, I didn't put it in. But what's going on? Well, it says that there's a chives allergy. And I go, okay, then there's a chives allergy. And they're like, okay, well, is it all onions or is it just chives? And I was like, again, I don't know. So Fabulous Manager is like, do you want to run it by the table? Because there's shallots in the sauce that comes with that meal. Okay. And I was all, do you want to run it by the table?
Yeah, you're
because
a manager.
But also, I literally just told you how that man yelled at me. We just spoke about this seconds ago. And then I enter the kitchen, and he's like, oh, well, do you want to run it by the table? And I'm like, do you?
I don't want to talk to him.
I don't want to talk to that old man again. I do not. He was so aggressive about it, and he was mad that I poured that wine. So I'm just like, cool, I'm not talking to you again.
Right.
I don't have to. Your food's in. We'll figure it out from there. I'll make sure you're good when your food hits, you know? So they go by, or he goes by. It is, in fact, an onion allergy.
Great.
So we take the sauce. They had put it on the side already. So we just remove it from the plate and send it out. And somebody else ran it. And I said, go ahead and let him know not to eat off his wife's plate because that has shallots too. Because it did come with the sauce on her plate. And so we laughed about it, right? And Fabulous Manager remembered this man. He's like, oh, he's been in before. And he sat with Cutie Patootie. And he had an issue with him. And Cutie Patootie standing there, and he's like, I did? And Fabulous Manager's like, yeah, don't you remember? And he's like, well, I must have been having a night because I don't remember this at all. So there's a whole, like, there's lore to this man. There's more things that have happened with this man. And I looked at them and I was like, I think it's really just that he doesn't like shallots. Like, he just really doesn't like, or chives, right? He just really doesn't like chives. So, whatever. They ate and they were fine and they tipped a perfect 20%. Whatever. And I did not talk to them pretty much ever after that. I asked if I could box the food. They said, no, bring a box. I brought a box. I dropped the check. They paid. And, well, you cashed them out.
Yeah, just because you were at that moment when I first clocked in, you were kind of hectic.
Yeah, it was a little frantic.
I have a lot of things going on, so I just kind of walked through your section because I had nothing going on since I just clocked in. I didn't have any tables yet. And so I just walked through your section and saw if there was anything that could be done there. So I just picked up a couple, like I pre-bussed a little bit, and then I saw the check down for them, so I cashed them out. It was just one of those things where I just wanted to take like one or two things off of your plate. Yeah?
It helped a lot. But then they handed me the tip. And he has the check.
Right. They paid the
they paid cash. And so he has the check in front of him, and their $92 check. And this man hands me $15 on top of the printed out check and slides it to me, and he says, "Here you go." And so I grab it and I scoot the 5 off of the 10, and I go, "I'm sorry." And he's like, "That's for you." And I said, "Okay, thank you." And I like look around because I'm all, did somebody else pay you out? Because all I'm seeing is a printed check and $15. And you're supposed to be giving me $92. And so all I'm thinking is like, you don't have to tip me, but this is not enough to cover your bill. Like, I don't know where you think, like, the wine incident did not cover $80 of your bill, you know? So I'm like, I don't understand what's happening right now. So I was just like, okay, thank you so much. And I like started to walk away. And that's when you came up to me and you were like, I ran it. Like, I closed them out. And I was like, okay, cool. So the cash is somewhere.
Yes.
And we can move on.
I literally
they're getting up from the table, and I'm like, I don't like this. I'm very stressed. I'm uncomfortable with this. I'm very stressed. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I was literally at a table taking their order, and I had to stop you really quick because I saw. So the table that I was standing at 56 is literally right
like
on the other edge of 31. So I saw the interaction that you were having with 31, and you seemed very confused as to like what was happening and everything. And I stopped in the middle of taking 56's order to be like, hey, I have the cash for that table in my back pocket. And you were like, oh, okay. And then I turned back the table and I was like, I'm so sorry. I took cash off another table for her. I needed her to know that I wasn't stealing from her.
Please, thank you.
And they were like, yeah, it's pretty important. And I was like, yeah, just a little bit. I don't know.
Just making sure the table's not walking out, just leaving $15. I had this table come and sit down, and they were nice enough, right? But and I don't normally judge a book by its cover, but I'm just gonna tell you, like,
I try not to, but
I really try not to, but sometimes the cover's screaming at me, and so I just am like, okay, they're ordering a lot. They don't look like they're just older people. Like, it's all right, they're white trash, like they just were. Like, they from how they ordered to, this one woman is like one cigarette away from losing her throat, like that's she's barely speaking to me, and it's in Batman's voice, and you know, and like, cool, good for you, like whatever. And they were nice.
She has to turn away from the shower head.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so I take their order and everything's fine and they're nice enough, but Something happened with one of their cocktails because the guy got a mojito and then he's like, oh, I can't drink it because of all the crushed ice or whatever. So that was a thing. And then I brought him the new one and he was fine. Nobody wanted any more drinks. And we get to the very end and the smoker lady asked me for a box. And I was like, can I box it for you? And she goes, you know what? Just bring it to me. I don't know what I'm keeping yet. And I was like, okay, great. So I bring her the box and I set down the check and she immediately has a card to hand to me. Mm-hmm. So cool. I'm going to go, you're paying for the whole check. I'm going to go run this card. I don't think that she was prepared for how quickly I was going to come back with that. Because as I walked back up to say, you guys are all good, have a wonderful night, she is setting one of our cast iron spinach holders.
The whole cast iron?
Yeah, the whole cast iron into her to-go box. And she is seat 1. So I am setting the check down to seat 1, which is right next to me. My face is matched with her face as I go, you guys are all set, and we both look to her to-go box. Where her spinach is still living in the cast iron dish that we serve it in.
Yeah, fuck
just inside this cardboard box that we give out. And so she goes, oh, thank you so much. And she just folds the flaps down and holds them with one hand. And I go, okay. Okay, you guys have a wonderful weekend. And she's like, thank you. You were so sweet. And I'm just like, great.
What'd they tip?
Over 20%.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Surprising.
Yeah, their bill was $240 and they left me $50.
Good.
So a little bit better than a 20% tip, which I was not expecting at all.
Yeah, I was going to say, usually white trash, they come in and they order a lot, right?
That's what it was. They were ordering a lot. There was a filet at the table.
Yep.
There was, everybody got a cocktail.
And then they tip you $2.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's fine. So I was walking to the back and I'm just laughing. I'm just laughing my way to the back. Because, what am I supposed to say? Like, hey, you can't take that.
I don't care.
But, and also, I don't know. Like, she very clearly, she made it very obvious, like, I'm taking this. Like, she folded the little flaps over.
Yeah.
But like I said, our faces are matched. Like, I'm leaning down and she's right here. And she's just all, thank you, you've been so sweet. And I'm like, yeah, the sweetness continues. You enjoy that. So I go to the back and I'm just laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And Fabio's manager comes up to me and I'm, like, laughing. And he's like, are you crying? Like, I can't tell. And I was like, no, you need to understand what just happened. And he's like, see, this is where I'm like, do I go and talk to them? Like, do I go and be like, hey, no, like, no. And he's like, the whole thing? And I go, we can't take half of it. Yeah, the whole cast iron. Like, and he's like, that's heavy as shit. And I go, I know. She's going to have a hard time carrying it out of here.
Well,
because those things weigh like 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, they're absurdly heavy. So I guess when they were leaving, he was up at the host stand. And as he said, have a wonderful night, guys, she, like, moved the box to her side.
No way.
He laughed because she's holding it with 2 hands because you have to, because that cardboard box is not meant to hold a cast iron little crock pot thing.
Right.
And so he knows who it is. And he was just, like, laughing as she leaves. And he's like, how many do you think she has? I go, I don't know. And he goes, what are you going to use it for? I go, 1 pot pie? I don't know, like 1 mini pot pie?
Who knows?
I have no idea.
Fuck, that's incredible.
But right in front of she was not expecting me to come back. Like, just hand putting it into, looks at me and then folds the flaps. And I go, okay.
Sure.
Okay. Bye.
Something that happened today was so this is one of my bigger pet peeves. I hate it when people do this. So instead of saying like, hey, I'll have a glass of Kendall Jackson, they go, hey, yeah, I'll just have a glass of your Monterey Bay, California.
Shut the fuck up.
No,
this happened to me tonight. No. I've never had this happen to the point where she didn't want to tell me what wine it was.
Oh,
and that happened to me tonight. Let's keep going. Tell your story first, but I can't believe that we both had this interaction tonight.
So I have it every once in a while. It's not often, but I had 2 people at the same table. So the wife and husband both did this to me. The wife is like, yeah, I'll have your not
the Malbec, right?
No. What's the New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc? But she said like specifically like the province or whatever of New Zealand. Is it Marlborough?
Yeah, Marlborough.
I didn't know if it was.
Good Sauvignon Blancs usually come from Marlborough.
No, I know that.
Our house is
paid $600.
Yeah, I know. She's a fucking sommelier level 1 over here. We get it.
But she was like, yeah, I'll have the Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc.
Cool,
And
we have 2.
Yeah, and I was like, which one? And she goes, oh, this one. And I go, okay. So I write it down. And then her husband looks at me and goes, oh yeah, and I'll have the whatever another Sauvignon Blanc that we have, like a California Sauvignon Blanc.
Right.
And I was like, which one? Like, I don't know the exact regions that all of our wines come from,
I don't either,
right?
and we're not
Like,
expected to.
Right.
Like,
It's
tell
one of
me
those
the name of
things-
it, or tell me if it's the cheapest one,
Tell
and
me
I can
the
go
fucking
from there.
vineyard. Either say the vineyard or say house. Like, just give me that much.
Right.
Right. And so.
And honestly, the name of the vineyard is so big. Like, it'll say, like, Decoy Pinot Noir. You know, like, and then that's like a smaller print, and then it says, like,
and
Napa
even
Valley,
smaller
right?
print italicized is
Right.
like where it comes from. So it's very much like one of those words, like, fuck off. Like,
Yeah.
you're being pretentious. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Just give me the name of the vineyard. What do you
Yeah.
want? And so I'm talking to the bartender and High Water Daddy about this. And I'm saying, like, oh God, I hate it when people do that to me because it makes me feel stupid. It makes me feel like I don't do my job well.
Right.
But it is one of those things where we have a, like, relatively healthy list of wines.
Right.
I'm not going to know every province of every fucking wine that we have.
And they change, too. Like,
And they
sometimes we
change all
get
the
different
time.
varietals in, and we get different companies that supply us with them, and so it's like, oh, I no longer have a Napa Valley Sauvignon Blanc, you know?
Right.
And
That would be like somebody looking at me and be like, oh, I'll take the 2015 Chardonnay. What the fuck are you on about?
Stop it.
Like, right, that's what I'm saying. So I was just like, and I was telling, the bartender and High Water Daddy about this, and I was just like, I hate it when people do that to me because
Yeah.
it makes me look bad.
Yeah.
And I'm good at my job.
Yep.
But that's not one thing that I've,
I don't
mastered,
have
I
these
guess.
memorized. I don't flashcard where they're from.
Exactly.
out.
You want to ask me what they taste like? I can give you the flavor
Absolutely.
profile of every single Chardonnay. I can give you the flavor profile of the Pinot Noir, of all the Cabernets, including the ones from the bottle. Like, I know those, but I don't know where they, like, whatever, right? So I'm telling them about this, and High Water Daddy goes, I mean, maybe that's something like we should, focus on. Maybe that's something that could be a focus for us. I looked at him and I said, I'll do it when you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
He goes, we'll start. Yeah. We'll start with the Riesling, the one Riesling. That
We have a singular Riesling. Perfect. Yeah, I know where that's from. Got it.
And I go, oh, okay. This guy is so. I don't know if it's that he doesn't care about his job or if he's just like very like one way focused, right? And anything out of that just like doesn't really compute all that well. This guy doesn't know much.
No.
And for him to just be like, maybe that's something our server should know. Fuck you.
He also states things so confidently that he's
Always.
wrong about. There's so much confidence behind his, no, we don't have that. And I'm like, yes, we do. Like, I've been with this company longer than you have, let alone like
Right.
with this store so much longer than you have.
Yeah.
No, I had a woman, so she ordered a glass of white wine, and when she ordered the white wine, she said, I'll take, this exact white wine. And I said, perfect. And then when dinner came out, she goes, you know what, can I see the wine list again? I think I'm going to order a red. Absolutely. I hand her the wine list. I swing back. I had to check on a table. I come right back. I said, hey, did you decide? She goes, yeah, I'm going to take the red from Napa Valley.
Almost all of our reds from Napa Valley.
They're
What are
not.
you talking about?
Thank God. So I go, okay, and I just leave. I just go straight, and I pick up a menu, and I look, and it was the educated guess. That's the only red that we have, luckily, from Napa Valley right now. But
Interesting. Okay.
right, but I was like,
Isn't the house red Napa Valley red?
it's not Napa Valley, it's Lodi. Or Lodi, however you say that.
Yeah, I think it's Lodi.
So that's the only reason I know that is because I've had guests say, oh, I'll take the one from Lodi. And I'm like, cool, the red or the white? Because I know that the Tortoise Creek is from there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, cool, red or white? Like, whatever. But anyway, she was just like, yeah, I'll take the Napa Valley red. And I was like, you couldn't have said cab? Like, you couldn't have even condensed that a little bit more for me?
Right.
You had just the red. You know how
Just
many
a
reds
red
we
is
have?
so annoying.
We have 5 different kinds of reds. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? So that's why when you said that, I was like, no fucking way that happened to her too. Like, that doesn't happen often to me. But yeah, when it happens, I didn't even question her again. I was like, she expects me to know this. Cool, I know it. I went, okay. And I take the menu and I go to the terminal, pop that right open to where it says reds and start scrolling. I'm just like, Napa Valley, clock it. Educated guess.
No, I immediately just looked at them. I was like, which one? Like, they were stupid for saying it that way. Like, you're not going to fucking fuck off.
Or I was ready to go back and be like, which one? Because I have, the cab or I have the Merlot. Like, if
Yeah.
they were both from Napa Valley, right? I could be like, oh, did you want the Merlot? And I'd be like, no, the cab. Well, then you should have fucking said that.
Yeah.
It's
that's
not that
fair.
hard.
So something that happened to me today, I couldn't believe my eyes that I watched this interaction play out. So I'm at the terminal in between lounge 1 and lounge 2. And I was lounge 2 and I had this table, in there. And the bussers were taking care of the table, right? They're wiping it down, whatever. And it still had the chuck on it. I hadn't gotten around to picking it up yet. And the kid that was working O-Bar walks by because he's heading towards the oyster bar. And the busser, Great Value Clark Kent, looks at him, says something in Spanish, picks up the pen off my check presenter and hands it to him. He grabs it and goes, "Oh, gracias," and puts it in his pocket.
No.
As I'm watching this interaction play out right in front of my fucking eyes as I'm at the terminal, I step out from behind the post that's right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm stopping him in his tracks. What are you talking about? No, you're not.
I literally just shocked Pikachu. I'm like, what?
What?
And Obar is just like, "Oh, sorry," and he hands it to me, and I go, "You were gonna steal my pen?" And he goes, "Sorry," and he just keeps walking. Great
also,
value.
Obar speaks perfect English.
I know he does. Obar, Great Value Clark Kent, fucking looks at me and goes, "Oh, isn't that the pen I gave you a couple weeks ago?" And I was like, "Yeah, a couple weeks ago. It's mine now.
I own this pen.
It's mine. What do you?
You haven't collected it? Sorry, the time has passed.
I can't believe you just did that.
If I can pick up a cat off the street and weeks go by, it's my cat. This pen is my fucking pen.
Right,
You shut up.
Also, what are you writing? Fuck off. You're a busser.
You don't have to write, orders down. You don't have to cross anything off a list.
Nothing.
What do you need a pen
You have
for?
nothing.
You
that
also
need a
probably
pen for.
stole that from one of us.
100%. There's absolutely no way. And let's be real, me and Great Value Clark Kent do not have a great relationship.
No.
So it's not one of those things where I'm like, "Hey, do you have a pen?" And I'm not asking him because I don't assume he has a pen on him. Why would I? I'm asking literally any of the fucking other 5 to 8 servers we have on deck.
Right.
Just be like, "Hey, let me grab a pen real quick." So no, I'm fairly certain I did not take this pen from you because I don't fucking trust you like that and I don't fucking know you like that. So what? And it clicked for me all of the times that we've had pens just go missing. And all of a sudden we're like, wow, our fucking table took the pen. Now I'm like, did the table
take the pen?
Or did the fucking busser take the pen and hand it to someone in the back? Because they do write shit down at the end of the night. They're writing all their variances and shit. Are the bussers stealing our pens?
Good luck now, dog. I have rainbow pens. You tell me one fucking guy in the back of house that has bought a rainbow pack of pens.
No, of course not.
I have highlighter colored pens now. And I'll be honest, I've had them for a week and a half and not a single one has gone missing. And now I'm wondering, is it because he knows I'll know?
That's what I'm saying.
We have that server that marks hers with, Sweet Pea marks hers with her name.
Yeah. It's very annoying when she catches me.
Or when I tell her that you have.
Putting me on blast today was such an annoyance.
That was yesterday.
Oh, Cat stole your pens. How dare you?
I didn't say you stole them. I said you had them. I said Cat has 2 of your pens. And she goes, what? Oh, well, they'll come back to me, right? She did not give 2 shits at all. And you're like, no, I don't. No, I don't. And I look down. I go, oh, you don't. And then she walks away. And Cat pulls out 2 pens marked Sweet Pea. And I'm like, you fucker. And you're going, you fucker. No.
Because I didn't have them displayed, hanging on my apron at the moment. And then the minute she walked away, I reached into my apron pocket to where, my extra pens are. And I just pull out her pens. And I was just like, I got him. She also listens to the podcast, so she's going to know.
So you mean she has your pens? She's a liar. I tried to help you. Also, I just want you to know that I have been commended numerous times for my ability to get pens back to people.
Good for you.
So when people close out checks for me, I will find them at some point throughout the night and be like, yo, tonight I returned your pen for closing out my 31 or whatever, or 34 or whatever it was. I was like, hey, this is Kat's because her name's on my check. So that's how I know that you picked it up. And I do that, and I even do it with the managers. And I've had several managers over the years be like, hey, thank you so much for getting that back to me. Because the managers usually only have one pen that's not like the cheapo ones they get in the office, you know, which they can't hold on them because it's like a cap, you know. So, yeah, I pride myself on getting pens back to people, and you're just over here, the little fucking pen goblin. It has your name on it. No, it doesn't. I'm surprised you haven't peeled her name off of them by now. What are you talking about? I also bought G2. Shut up. I can't even hit that. That was too funny.
a dragon in that sense of hoarding pens. I could
so shiny. So they write so neatly. They're
I
mine.
could walk into work with 2
So
pens
hoard.
and walk out with 8.
Yes, 7 or 8.
I'm the worst.
That's
with
why
it.
I look at you sometimes and I go, yo, but that pen I get back. Like, I closed out 3 of your
Yeah,
tables.
'cause
I'm
you know.
getting those pens back.
Yeah, because I 100% steal pens always, and I keep them in my apron. I don't like bring them home or anything. And I haven't defaced Sweet Pea's pens, right? Like they still have her name very proudly on them because I'm just like,
absurd.
eventually she'll catch me with them and she'll take them back. But
Right,
right
she's gonna
now,
walk past the table and see her name and be like, yoink,
yeah,
take
for
that back.
sure. But that's the economy of a restaurant. It just
For a while,
it's the trickle down. I have to tell you.
For a while, I had those periwinkle blue pens, right,
Yeah,
that I
you
was
did.
using. And so I would catch them in other people's apron, and I would just point at it. And I'd be like, yo, that periwinkle blue pen, where'd you get it? Where'd you get it? And they're like, And I had managers take those pens from me, like, numerous times. Or I'd walk past the table and be like, yoink, this is mine. Obviously, nobody else is buying these pens.
Yeah. I have a very nice pen in my apron that I am so sure I stole from a manager because there's no way I've ever bought anything like that. But I am fairly.
Is this like this is the, like, what is it? It's,
I don't have any lights in my car.
carbon fiber or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't it have, like, the carbon fiber feel
Yeah.
to it? Yeah, but it's also a capped pen, and, like, I hate capped pens. Because I can't hand them
you're
to
all right.
people because they lose the caps. Tables lose caps.
Maybe I've handed this to a couple people when I have no other black pens on me. I try really hard. So I have a purple pen and a green pen. That
I have a
try-
purple pen that I don't hand out to anybody.
Yeah, I try really hard not to hand that out to anybody, but if it's the only pen I have left, because I've had like 3 tables all closed out at the
Yeah.
same time and one of them had a split check 3 ways. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, this is the only pen I have here, take it. But yeah, this is every once in a while I'll hand this to tables and they've always given it back to me. And I wonder if it's because it's such a nice pen that they're like, oh, she'll know. You know what I mean?
See,
Or-
now I have the opposite problem. I usually buy consistently nice pens, like nicer, right? Not crazy expensive. I'm not dropping $20 on pens or anything.
Right.
But like, $10 or $15 for a pack. And that time so I bought those like off black ones. That was like blue, black, like purple, black, whatever. And that table took 2 of them and left only the shitty pen that I gave them for their
No, I'd be
3-way
mad.
split. Those pens don't exist in my apron anymore.
Yeah.
I went to Five Below and I bought a pack of 16 rainbow pens.
Yeah.
They are every shade of the rainbow in like a highlighter color.
Yep.
Since then, not one of those has gone missing.
That's
But that
crazy.
table, like I told you, I watched them like testing it, and then there was even like the testers on the check that they left for me.
Yeah.
Like they were like, "Oh, look how smooth." I know it's smooth because I like to write with smooth pens, you fuckers.
Yeah, fuckers. Yeah, no, I almost caught Obar. Well, I did catch Obar trying
No,
to
you
steal my
100%
pen.
caught.
But
That
yeah,
happened.
he almost stole my pen tonight. If I wasn't
What?
sitting at that terminal, I never would have known what was happening
That's
to my pen.
crazy.
Isn't that wild?
We've got the calls coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
Fuckers. I've given my pen to the back of house when they're like, "Hey, do you have a pen I can borrow for a little bit?" But when I do that, I hand them the brightest, girliest colored pen that I have.
Yeah, as you should.
Every single time it's like my pink one or my purple one. Like, absolutely, because that comes back to me every time.
Yeah, of course
They're
it
not
does.
going to hang on to that. They're like, nah, you can have your highlighter pink pen back, And I'm like, cool, thank you. And their fucking thing that they're writing on is just writing in pink, like, for their day. Yeah, that's the one you can borrow. So I had something happen right when I got to work today, and this happens a lot. And I feel like this has happened a lot over the years as well. So I come on, and a lot of times when I come on, or when anyone comes on for the bar, the morning bartender has taken tables, right? Or has been watching tables or whatever else. And so 9 times out of 10, they close out that table, they pick up their check, and they leave, and no pre-bussing has happened whatsoever.
Yeah, bartenders are shit at that, yeah.
Right. They are not going back to those tables to pick up a single plate or glass, whether it's a bar glass or not.
Yeah.
They are not going back to pick up any of those things. And I'm not just saying that it's the current crew that we have. This has been going on for years. And so when I got in, one table was the morning bartenders. And I had 2 tables, like, to the very back, and then I got 31. And so then 32 got up and left, but they took boxes. And so the bartender, brought them boxes because what they had was, like, they're going to box it. They don't want, like,
Right.
fish and chips and whatever else, right? And I walk by, numerous times, and there are 3 full entree plates, like empty entree plates, but entree plates, there's bread plates, there's a bread like still sitting there, there's bar glasses, and there's all the water glasses because it was a 4-top. And there's just stacks of plates. And so I go to the manager and I go, hey, so I'm gonna clean it, like I'm gonna do that, but I need you to understand that this is not my job. My job is not to bust this table for the morning bartender who just paid themselves out and bounce the fuck out of here.
Right.
When I was a bartender, when I took tables, you still got to clear those plates, even if you just take them to the bus tubs behind the bar.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
That's what I would do, and that's why when I brought this up to you earlier, and you're like, "Is it something I did as a bartender?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "No," because you and I would fill those bus tubs to the fucking brim.
Oh,
You know,
overfilled. I would start putting plates on the fucking
you
floor.
and Kat
No
would put plates
problem.
on the floor. I had never done that.
If they were filled to the brim and the bussers weren't fucking coming back to fucking take the bus tubs, what do you
Sure.
expect me to do?
We'll take them to the back.
No.
But
I'm
anyways,
busy, bitch.
none of the plates had been removed from this table for the
Yeah.
entirety of the time that they were there. And so Fabulous Manager's like, well, let me go take a peek, right? And so he comes by, and sure enough, and the thing that I said is, I don't want to hear it from the bussers. Because at this point, this far into my shift, it was like 45 minutes into my shift.
Now it looks like it was your
They
table.
think that that's my table. They 100% walk up and are thinking, this is Bunny's table. And look, she didn't fucking pre-bus anything. She didn't get rid of anything. No, not mine. And the check's gone because it left with the morning bartender.
Of course,
So
yeah.
there's no proof that wasn't my table. So that's the only thing that I want to say is like, hey, I'll do it. Because like, hey, like circle of responsibility.
Team,
like we all fucking
team
do
effort,
it.
Yeah.
Fine. But also I'm fucking sick of it. The amount of times that I have come in and been the nighttime bar and had 3 to 4 tables dirty.
All dirty as shit.
Completely
yeah.
dirty. Because I come on when the nighttime busser comes on. We clock in at the exact same fucking minute.
Yeah.
So then I walk through and I'm getting dirty looks the whole time. And I'm like, what do you think? I closed out tables when we both clocked in at the same time? But they're not
Yeah.
thinking that. They're just thinking this is your section now.
And it's
these are
dirty
your
as
tables
fuck, yeah.
and they're all fucking dirty and now I have to get it. And I'm like, yeah, well, then talk to the bartenders, you know? But so I made the point to be like, hey, I know what it's like to be a bartender. I've done it. Please take 2 plates to the back. Like, no, I was just like, I don't want to do it. I'm now getting seated. I had 3 tables. I was getting a 4th table. And I'm just looking at this table loaded up with fucking plates. And I'm like, I don't want to do it. I'm going to do it because it's like the right thing to do. But I don't want to do it. I want everybody to know that this is absolutely 100% not my job.
Yeah.
And that I didn't dirty any of these plates. My guests didn't dirty any of these plates. And this is just, I'm not getting paid for any of this. And I'm just going to do it because it's the right thing to do. But I mean, there was beer glasses there too. I'm like, you don't even come and pick up the barware? Like, bare minimum for your crew, like for the people that are replacing you, you don't even pick up the fucking bar glasses?
Something that used to bother me a little bit ago, because when I was a bartender anyways, we always had a lounge server. Like even during the days,
Right.
we had somebody in lounge. There was always a server in there. And then bartenders, they would get cut relatively early and bartenders would start taking tables after that. But there was still that responsibility on the servers to clean the tables, right? And like do the condiments and stuff that are on the
sauces and
tables.
stuff,
yeah. And so I would come into bar like a couple months ago. I realized every time I came into bar, the hot, and it's not a hot sauce, but the sort of hot sauce thing,
that we
whatever
keep on
that
the
we
table.
that we keep on the table would be like half full. The salts would be, like down like by a lot and stuff. And it was because I was coming into bar on a night where the bartender took tables in the morning.
Right.
But the bartenders aren't taking care of the tables to set them up for the night shift.
Right. It's not a part of their closing side work.
Exactly. So they're not thinking about it. But at the end of the day, the bartenders also aren't doing the side work that comes along with lounge.
With taking tables.
Yeah, they're not cleaning the wine glasses. They're not cleaning the condiments in the back, the soy sauces and stuff.
Right.
They're not cleaning the condiments that are on the tables, and yet they're getting a full section of tables every single day. And I understand why they did that, because the bartenders weren't getting anybody sitting at the bar top during the day.
Right, yeah, I want
That's
them to make their
fine.
money too, but I also want them to do the job that I have to do when I take those tables.
Right. And it's one of those, there has to be a happy medium somewhere between, I understand obviously doing it as long as I did. I understand that the bartenders have a lot of side work.
Yeah, there's a lot before you leave.
Yeah. Behind the bar on its own, there's a lot of side work, but can they at least do the tables.
Yeah,
like,
check that table
check
before
the
you walk out.
tables, check the salts, check the peppers, check the hot sauces that are on the table to make sure that those are filled for the nighttime. I'm not saying that they need to do the full side work and rolling silverware and all of this
Right,
for
yeah,
the
I
back.
would never ask a bartender to roll silverware or even polish all the wine glasses because you maybe used one and the rest of the crew used all of them. Fine, we'll give that to somebody else.
Exactly.
But you are still making that money off those tables and then just leaving them at whatever stage you want to.
Yeah.
And bouncing out. Like the amount of times, like I said, that I've come in and not only have the sauces not been done, but the tables have not been cleared. And there's no checks on any of them because you collected all of those and bounced the fuck out. I'm really happy that you got to do that. Now I get to come in and set my station before I get to use my station.
Yeah. Which is, it is, part of that whole, team thing. It's a team. Everybody does a circle of responsibility, whatever. I understand. Yes, bartender's gone, so I'm going to do this because it is setting me up for the next table.
Sure.
Like, I want to make sure that those tables are clean. But also, what does it say about the bartender that they didn't set me up for success?
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, they're just like, I'm done, I'm out. Okay, great.
They fucked me because
well, and we
they didn't
can't
want
do
to
that
do
at
it.
the end of the night. So why
No,
do you
of
get to
course
do it
not.
in the middle of the day?
Yeah.
You know, like, God forbid I leave a dessert plate. I'm getting screamed at just because there isn't a busser on when the bartender's leaving.
Speaking of bitch, something that fabulous host was telling me about, and something that I kind of saw like firsthand, but didn't clock right away, like what was happening. He was working, I believe this was Easter. He was working with Giggles. And he would walk up to a table. He was bussing, right? And so he would walk up to a table and he would just grab everything off the table to bus it.
Right.
Including like condiments and barware and whatever was on the table, he would just grab it, which is typically a part of server like pre-bus. You're supposed to take all of those things off the table.
Right. If there's a soy sauce or whatever, you should grab it.
Right. But if a server didn't get time to grab it, fabulous host was just grabbing it off the table. Giggles walked up to him, grabbed barware and soy sauce off of his tray and said, "Don't do that. That's a server's responsibility. You shouldn't be doing that. You're taking time away from your responsibilities." Set them back on the table and then walked away.
No.
So
I'm sorry. Your job, I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, if you look up the definition of a busser, is to bus the table and reset it for the next person that sits down. So you're telling me you're going to bust that table, wipe it down, reset it with new silverware and plates and everything, but leave 3 bar glasses?
And a soy sauce, yeah. He said that that's not your responsibility. Don't do that. So not only is he now putting his petty bullshit into his own job, but he is trying to train other people to put the petty bullshit into their job as well.
Absolutely the fuck not.
I was livid. So I spoke to Fabulous Manager about it and, mentioned that this is something that I was told by the host, like that this had happened. It was something that I had seen. I didn't clock like what was happening at the time, but I had seen it kind of happening. And when host told me about it, then it clicked. I was like, oh, that's what that was. And so I spoke to manager about it. And he was telling me, he was like, okay, well, host did also tell me about this. So now this is something that is a little bit more than just like hearsay or whatever. Right. So we're going to have a conversation. And I was just like, okay, because, Giggles isn't a trainer. He's not somebody that trains bussers. He has been with the company for a long time, but he's not somebody that we rely on ever.
Right.
Because he's not a good employee because of doing shit like that.
Because of the constant need for him to point out what's not his job. It's like, yeah, you know what's not mine? A lot of the shit I do.
Yeah. And it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, you do it. And it doesn't mean that you like it, but you're going to do it. And if you have that much of a problem, like, I don't know, talk to a manager about it.
Yeah, talk to him. If there's certain servers that are leaving everything behind every single time, talk to the manager about that.
Yeah, because that should be addressed with the server.
But you can't just leave it. Like we've talked about this before. You can't wipe a table and then reset down dirty stuff.
Yeah, the whole table's dirty.
Not clean now.
Yeah.
And even if I swing by and grab that barware and it's like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to pull a wine glass out of a woman's hand to be like, you're done with this, right? I have to take this to the back before you leave. I don't. You can leave and then I can swing by and get it. And if the busser beats me to that table, then it's your job to do it.
Yeah.
Don't leave it behind for me. And like, we have enough other bussers who don't do that. But he specifically will put stuff back on the table.
Yeah. And I just thought that was crazy to like, so Yeah, I thought it was nuts that he not only was doing it for himself, but now he's like
Telling other people not to do
instructing
it.
other
Yeah.
people not to do it as well. I was
Great.
really pissed about that.
Me too. No, I'm also pissed about that. Good to know.
I've never been riled.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully tomorrow's good.
We'll see. Normal Sunday, hopefully.
I've had a couple instances this week with the kitchen where I go back to say, like, hey, I need X, Y, and Z. And I am given back either attitude or no response at all. But so tonight I had a girl, like a little girl at the table who got a steak. She was maybe 12 and she cut it up into 1,000,000 pieces.
Yeah, that was wild.
And I had done my 2-bite check. I had been by that table to make sure that everything at the table was good, and they told me it was. And then they flagged me down, and I come over, and the dad's like, yeah, can we just get that steak cooked more? And I look at that plate,
No,
and
not
I'm
when it's
looking
in
at
pieces.
I'm looking at 30 pieces of steak cut up. And no, you're correct. It's not medium well. It is not. It is medium at best. And it's not medium well, which is what she wanted. So I said, okay. And the dad's like, give her your plate. You have to give her the plate. You can't keep eating. Like, there's so many pieces that there's nowhere for me to put all of these. Like, I have
Right.
to take the whole plate from you. I'm sorry. That's the only way that this can happen. So I go to the back, and, you know, it was a very hectic moment in the kitchen. I understand that. But I said, hey, I'm really sorry. This table wants the steak brought up more. To which kitchen manager on the line grabs the plate from me and just chucks it off to the side.
It says nothing to nobody.
Says nothing to me, nothing to the guy on grill. Nothing else. I was like, and he's like, what is it? And I was like, it's supposed to be medium well, which I rang in. That's how I checked. I double checked because I was like, was this my bad? It was not.
Right.
The steak came out undercooked from the kitchen. I'm sorry. Can you bring it up? And he just chucks it off like to the side of the line where nobody keeps plates. You know?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to go, oh, what's this plate for? Like, if anything, it looks like crew food or something.
Right.
And he just chucks it up there and goes back to the 3 tickets that he has that are green. And that's what he's doing. And so I wait a beat. And I'm like, okay, maybe he'll get to me in a second, right? And I wait another beat. And then I even ran food and came back because I'm trying to help. And he still has not addressed that steak that's just sitting there. So I'm like, great. This happened earlier in the week as well. When I get there at 4 o'clock, we don't have anybody on oysters. There's nobody that does oysters right off the bat. So this happened to me 2 other times this week. I walked in, talked to our new kitchen supervisor. I said, hey, do we have anybody on oysters? Because they usually don't get there till 4:30.
Right.
And he looks at me and goes, I don't know, and goes back to what he was doing.
No, absolutely not. Now it's you, bitch.
Right, well, and these oysters were already at 6 minutes.
Of course.
And so now I'm looking for anybody else. Who else can help me? I go to the back. I'm trying to find, is anybody, all we have back there is the prep guy from the morning.
Yeah.
He doesn't do oysters. And he doesn't have time. He's got a million fucking things to do before he leaves at 6 o'clock.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I guess I have to find a different manager. So then, you know, High Water Daddy ended up making them for me. But that ticket hit 20 minutes for those oysters.
No.
And I'm like, okay, great. And then the following day after that, so this was like 2 days ago, I go to the back. Hey, do we have anybody on oysters? Because the kitchen's on break. It's later in the evening. Hey, do we have anybody on oysters? I've got oysters at 8 minutes. I was busy, so I didn't realize that it had been 8 minutes and there isn't an oyster bar guy there. I also wasn't in the bar. So I'm not paying attention to where the, you know, oysters
People are, yeah.
So I was like, hey, and it's our kitchen manager and the old kind of soup lead or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
They're talking. And I said, oh, hey guys, I'm so sorry. Do we have anybody on oysters right now? And kitchen manager goes, yeah, we got it.
Do you? Because nobody's over there shucking oysters.
Right.
So...
And I go, oh, okay, thinking he's going to go over, or even the other guy is going to leave in a moment to go. I'm looking at 9 minutes. And so I just go, oh, okay. And I walk away. 4 minutes later, the other kitchen guy heads over and starts shucking those oysters. And I'm like, you're joking. I'm sorry that people order oysters, but also at that moment, that table that I had, that's all they had ordered. And they told me specifically, we will wait for the oysters and then we will order our food.
Mm-hmm.
Those hit 19 minutes.
That's crazy.
Before that dozen oysters got out. So they have been waiting, just sitting at their table. No other food has been ordered. I cannot get them anything else because they don't want to order anything else until those oysters come out. And it was 18 oysters, not just like 3, you know? So it took a while to shuck 18 oysters. And I'm just like, I can't do this. Like, I'm doing my job to the best of my ability, and I'm getting attitude from the back a lot lately. And like tonight, I literally just put my hands up and I was like, okay. And I went and I got Fabulous Manager and I was like, tell me what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
Because I cannot walk back to that line and talk to him about anything else now. I cannot. Not after that. Also, I'm not talking to a man after he throws anything ever. Like, sorry.
Fair.
You want to chuck something off to the side? We don't talk.
Yep.
We're done. You have very clearly let me know that we are finished this conversation and I am not going to speak to you again about it. So I got somebody else involved. So yeah, we had to take off the steak because we had to start a whole new one.
Yeah, because she cut it into 30 fucking pieces.
Sure, but also like...
They didn't start doing anything about it until 6 minutes after you brought it back.
Right.
So yeah, it's a whole issue.
And then they ended up just taking it all to go after it hit the table. And it was like, and they were fine. But then what I didn't know is we had offered them dessert. So then I walk up and I go, hey, do we want to get dessert? And they were like, no, we just want the check. And I'm like, okay. So the way it panned out, like it probably sounded like I was still trying to offer them that free dessert. And they were just saying no. But also, seriously, if anybody ever offers my table a free dessert, please fucking let me know.
Yeah.
Please let me know that has happened, so that way I can come up with the information that I need. And to which I was given an apology. It was, hey, I should have let you know that. You know, how did it end? Were they okay? And I'm like, honestly, they were totally fine, and they did tip me a perfect 20%. But I could see how that, like, all of those things combined, they're probably like, oh, we were told a free dessert, and now we're not. Like, now she's asking if we want one or not. Like, I don't know.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're asking, like, did you guys want to get one? Like, which one do you want? I don't think as a guest I would really take that as like, okay, she doesn't know that, you know.
Right, or you
she's
could
trying to
bring it
sell
up.
more,
Yeah,
whatever,
or
blah,
you
blah.
could bring it up to me like, oh, we were told we get a free one. Great. I'll give you 2. I don't care.
Yeah.
Dessert means nothing to us, you know? Like, please, whatever you want. I don't care. How do we make this better?
Yeah.
But for me, it's just like this week specifically, it's just like, what the fuck, guys?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not back here to bother you. I'm not coming back here being like, oh, do your job. Do somebody else's job. Oh my God, do my job. That's not what I'm doing. I'm doing my job to the fullest extent that I can. And when I realize something's off and I'm coming to you, the person who's supposed to solve my problem, and I get, I don't know, or yeah, we'll get to it. Well, when? When are you going to get to it?
Yeah.
And also, like, I'm not waiting for this food. That table's waiting for this food.
Yeah.
And it's not just my tip I'm worried about. It's the bad reviews. It's the, you know, person who now needs to talk to a manager. Or it's whatever else. Like, it's not me personally. I did not order that steak and chop it up to bits and then tell you it's wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. So, I don't know. I've just, like, too many times this week have I encountered that. And I'm just like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do that. That's not what I'm here for.
Completely understand.
So that was mildly annoying.
Well, you ready to do it all again tomorrow?
Yeah.
Let's check out.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Rolling Silverware Podcast. If you are enjoying the post-shift shit talk, please feel free to rate it. Tune back in next week for our shift shenanigans. Thank you for listening to Rolling Silverware Podcast. If you are enjoying the post-shift shit talk, please feel free to rate it. Tune back in next week for our shift shenanigans.